What up, everyone? Thank you for coming back to my channel. I do appreciate it as usual. So, as once again, it's been a while. Just been busy trying to find my way. Very small, early channel. So I come on whenever I have free time, whenever I feel moved, whenever I feel like it's been too long. And I feel like it's been too long, so I just want to come back and share some thoughts. So, number one, I always have to approach everything with the mindset of gratitude because life has been worse for me. I'm grateful every day for freedom, for health, for having a place to live, a job, everything. I mean, things are going good, all things considered. I do, like a lot of people, I'm sure, even who haven't been to prison, sometimes get caught up in thinking about the woulda, couldas, and shouldas of my life. If I would have had this or not made whatever decision. But in spite of that, I'm grateful for how things are in my life. I'm pretty comfortable. And that, thinking about other guys that I know that have been to prison, that have gotten out and stayed out, made it work, started families and, just doing their thing in comparison to guys who have just been cycling through the system for years and years. It just makes me, I was thinking, I've thought about this quite a few times, but I just, I listen to a lot of YouTube. That's my source of, it's entertainment, information to a degree, and just discovering new things. Do that a lot on YouTube. But one thing I can't say that I've really come across is a channel that is really, I'd say, geared towards people like in my situation that have already fucked up in life. You get a lot of people talking to, the younger crowd, younger people coming up. Don't do this. Do this before you turn 30. Do this while you're in your 20s. Don't screw up. Or even if they're given, when you give advice to older people, not that I'm older, 39, but you know what I mean. A lot of times it's, well, if you're already in your 30s, then you should start doing this yesterday. Okay, and that's good. And I listen to all those, and a lot of them have good points. But now, let's add another situation into the equation where you've been to prison. Okay, you've done years and years in prison. You have a felony on your record. You don't want to be a part of the streets anymore. You want to change your life. You want to just start a family, work whatever jobs. But at the same time, after being out for a while, because let me tell you, when you first come home, obviously you're very grateful and any little thing means a lot. But after a while, you're just human. You start to want more because you see more. You get a little bit, you get very comfortable just being home. So just being home, it's always in the back of my mind, at least. I can't speak for everyone, but in the back of my mind, I'm always like, shit, I could be standing in the chow line right now waiting on some bullshit food, but instead I'm, here having to wait in a long ass line to get seated in a restaurant. So I'm not gonna be that petty or mad, but you get what I'm saying. So now you want to say you want to make six figures. We're not going to talk about being famous or rich or anything like that. But let's say you have a felony record. You're in your mid 30s, maybe 40s, 50s even. I've known some guys that get out in their 50s after going in their 20s. and you want to have a six-figure lifestyle, okay, what is the itinerary for that? I haven't made it to six figures. Now, I will say that with my wife, yeah, we're there, but I'm talking about me, myself. How do you go from an incarcerated individual, just barely finished high school, okay, no real skills, even if you get skills, okay, because here's the thing, especially with certain felonies in certain states, okay, first degree felonies in places like Florida, where I am, a lot of things, even if you get licensed for it, if you get certified or whatever, you can't practice it. I mean, not that you can't practice, but you can't get hired at a place, so you have to find your own clients or supporters, whatever it is, and you have to basically build trust in a community that you can't really get in the normal way, you know, because you don't have, well, actually you have a record, you have a big scar, and then let's also talk about how most of the things that you can go to college for, you know, a lot of times, what, you know, when you tell them that you've been incarcerated, especially for whatever you've been incarcerated for, if it's, you know, something first degree felony, okay, not murder, first degree felony, they're gonna turn you down. Okay, now obviously people, you know, I know some guys that are currently making six figures on their own. You know, I know a guy who he got into electricity and ended up opening his own company. But and I know that's something that a lot of people say, oh, well, construction, open your own company. But so many other people have tried that and they have failed because it's just not that simple. And so I'm always just curious. I would love to ask some of these people that give this kind of advice, or maybe they would say, oh, well, you just have to accept that you won't have a six-figure lifestyle, which I'm very aware that in this capitalist society we're in, it's not meant for everyone to be rich. Most of the people are going to fall by the wayside. The thing is, being so plugged into the media, social media, or just the media in general, what's going on around us, it can look like everyone is really doing well except us. It can, even though in the back of our heads we know that's not the case. But what we know is not always how we don't always act on what we know. A lot of times it's just the perspective of things, how we're seeing things at the moment. And, you know, it's easy to just say, oh man, well, you know, I fucked up. There's no way I can ever recover from this. And you end up in a hole mentally for a little bit, but you do come out, you know, if you have the mindset. I've developed a lot of patience and humility and gratitude, way more than I've ever had. I believe that's what allows me to keep the perspective that I keep, and just remain in most of the time a very positive mindset, and one that's very accepting of life as it is now. But yeah, I have to say that it seems like if you've already fucked up big time in life, then the general advice is, well, just kind of, you know, get a job, save money, and just accept whatever you have to accept, which, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of acceptance, a lot of just dealing with things, because what else are you going to do? Or how much better can you get? Yeah, you may be able to do better, but how much exactly? Now, if you're in a position where you really can do better, you can, then that's one thing. But a lot of people coming out of prison, they don't have, first of all, good sense. Let's just start there. Let's just be real. They don't have good thinking. Probably not the best perspective on life. And then, just being a human being in this world, especially in America, hey, I'm still enticed by the same shiny, bright things as you. So I want those things too. And at some point, people will get it right. Maybe if their second, third, fourth, fifth time, if they get that many chances. Some people do. Okay, some people come home from prison 6, 7, 8 times. They get a bunch of chances. So you just never know when it'll catch. And I do believe that at some point, for most people, it will catch. And they'll say, you know what, enough is enough. I have to deal with whatever I have to deal with. But eventually you do want to live a little bit of a better life. So what options are there? There's options. I'm not saying there aren't any options. I know for a fact, because I have lived this life and I have experienced, some of the options. But I'm not going to lie to you. Now I want to go back to school. I want to get a degree, a bachelor's in nutrition. And I want to do it online. I know there's some schools that offer that. But of course, there's always the record. I've looked into some of the schools. No one looks highly on that, but will they even accept it? We'll see. Anyhow, I'm not gonna go too far. Just wanted to add one last thing, that myself right now, I am, how can I put this? So I am the result of, and we all know this, but just thinking back on it, hindsight really 2020. Wow. I am the result of my perspective, my lifestyle, my choices when I was a teenager, when I was 16. I can think back to those years in school just being like, fuck this shit, thugging, not caring about nothing. And now 20 years later, here I am, fucked up. In a sense, and I say that in an exaggerated way, but I really am. In the sense of, community trust. No one wants to, I can't just share that about myself. If I did, so many people would look at me different. Most places don't want me to live there, don't want me to work there. It's just, and it's a constant thing that I have over my head. And it didn't have to be this way, but choices I made it this way, and this is what I'm living with. And hopefully somebody will I'm not even gonna say listen to this video, it's probably not, but just sending that energy out there that people will think about their life 20 years from the time that they are in the present, and say, how is it going to be? How do I see it? How is this action going to affect, or could potentially affect my life 20 years from now? I don't want to be another faceless felon. Don't be like me, okay? But just wanted to come back and share those thoughts. As always, if you've made it to the end of the video, I do appreciate it, truly. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to lend me a little bit of your ear and mind. Thank you. I hope that you would subscribe, like the video, comment, okay? Okay? As always, take care, stay safe, and stay free.